Let's do this.
Welcome back to ESBR Boxing's YouTube channel. It's Niall, and I'm here with Elliot, and we're just reacting to what we've seen in what some might consider a very big upset, as Derek Chisora has likely ended the career of the juggernaut Joe Joyce, as he's defeated him by unanimous decision over 10 rounds at the O2 Arena in London, England. Yeah, Elliot, let's jump straight into it. What do you think of that? I'm a bit lost for words after that, to be honest. I know some people might not be, but what did you think of the fight in general? And I suppose the big question has Derek Chisora just ended the career of Joe Joyce right there in London?
You know what, Niall? I'm over 35 years old. There's not much that gets me stimulated now, mate. But when I saw you sort of win that fight there was a genuine response. I'm talking genitally. I think I'm so but I'm buzzing for him, mate. I really am buzzing for him. Obviously, this was a massive, massive upset. I think no one well, the actual way he's won it was a huge upset. No one was backing obviously Chisora on points. Absolutely inconceivable that he's won on points. There was obviously the Joyce KO was popular, Joyce points was popular. Maybe if Derek could land one of those big overhand rights, maybe if Joyce was zanged, as people were saying, maybe he would stop him. But the actual Chisora on points was an outcome that no one said predicted or said anything about at all. So I'm really stoked. I'm really stoked he got the decision. I think he deserved the decision, frankly. The knockdown probably swung it, didn't it? We were saying, weren't we, before off air that we were watching it like Chisora, every time he seemed to throw, he seemed to hit Joyce. We know Joyce hasn't got the best defense, but he looked so tired from the second. I genuinely didn't think I thought he just collapsed, to be honest with you. I thought like Joyce had put a little bit of pressure on him and he just collapsed out of fatigue rather than actually being stopped big. So that's what I thought was going to happen. I was surprised he even got to the end of the fight. But every time he threw, he seemed to hit Joyce. Joyce just, I've been a long time critic of Joyce on this channel. And I think I'd everything you say about him being too slow, too static, not really, but obviously not really good footwork. I look at tonight and I think, how did that? I know obviously he's been through Zhang, but how did Joe Joyce ever beat Joe Parker? Like, it's just
Yeah.
miraculous. But I'm buzzing, man. I don't know how you feeling about it. If you're buzzing, you seem like you're buzzing. What are your thoughts, Noel?
Yeah, I have to echo pretty much everything you said there, to be honest. First of all, for Chisora to register this win at this stage of his career, like it's the biggest win of his career at now at what,
Unbelievable.
40, over 40 years old, gone for years, deserves it. Deserved it tonight. It would be interesting to see how different people had the scorecards, but the knockdown surely swung it. He deserved to win that fight, even though he kind of could barely stand up the last couple of rounds. I don't know how he stayed on his feet, but yeah, as you mentioned, the Chisora points, nobody would have backed that, and whoever did back that is going to have a happy, happy night tonight. Crazy, yeah, just a real war. Stylistically, what we expected it to be, two big men just lumping each other in the head. There was no technical nuance to it. But the shock was the result and the method of the result. But yeah, delighted for Chisora. It's a huge upset for me. I know people said, Joyce was finished after Zhang, but I was of the opinion that even if had lost something, he should have had more than enough for Derek Chisora tonight. And I said in the breakdown, actually, I said, not only does he need to win, I think he needed to win well there, to be honest. So even if he had won a points decision, I'd have been highly disappointed with Joe Joyce. So yeah, I think there's no question now that he's finished. There has to be no question. You can't beat this version of Derek Chisora. You're done, and I think Joyce will understand that himself. To be honest, so yeah, he never reached the kind of the mountaintop of world champion status like we thought, but he had a good amateur career and he had a couple of good wins as a pro. You mentioned Dubois, Parker. As you said, I don't know what Joseph Parker's thinking about looking at that fight tonight, but yeah, that has to be the end of the road. So just before we wrap up, we didn't think I was going to be asking this question tonight, but we spoke briefly off camera. What's next for Derek Chisora? Even if he had a loss, he'd have continued, but does a win give him maybe a different path next?
You know what? I don't even know what happens to Derek Chisora. In a weird way, like I kind of hope he retires. To be honest with you, I hope he retires with this massive win. I don't want to see him come out and sort of fight someone else and get kind of like a young fight. Like say someone like Fabio Wardley likes to look at Derek Chisora, like a big name on his record, for example. Like I don't want to see him come up against someone like that and get flattened. Frankly, I think conditioning wise, we saw an old fighter in there tonight. He was against a slow fighter in Joe Joyce. So for me, Derek Chisora, I'd like to see him retire. Frankly, I would like to see him retire. Joyce for me is an interesting one. Like, I don't think Joe Joyce will retire, frankly, even though obviously, like, a couple of fights ago before Zhang, we're talking AJ Joyce. We're talking like Usyk rematch with Joyce. We're talking like these super fights. That has obviously gone now. That will never happen. But I look at it and go, would someone like, British level, someone like Wardley, would they want to fight Joyce? Joyce want that fight? Maybe not. But I mean, what choice has he got? So for me, it's hard to match both of them. But I feel a bit sorry for Joe Joyce in some ways. Like you say, massive win over Dubois as well. Look where Daniel Dubois is now. I don't think Joe Joyce has got the time on his side to obviously do that. Not sure who'll be matched with next. I think let's see maybe someone looking at him for a scalp. Ratuma's on the undercard, for example. Could he fancy like a big, a shot, for example, against someone like that? Big name on his resume. So yeah, both guys obviously have got decisions to make. But I hope that Derek Chisora retires, and I hope actually that Joe Joyce maybe has one or two more and actually finishes on a win as well. I don't like to see people finish on a loss like that.
Yeah, again, I have to totally agree with the point you made. It would be a great place to step away for Chisora, wouldn't it? The biggest win of your career, like you've got nothing left to prove, but we know it's not going to happen. We know it's definitely not going to happen. We've all said it before. Even if he had a loss tonight, I don't think he was going to retire. So in terms of names, God, it'll be interesting now. I was just thinking to myself, is it a case of Joe Joyce is the best possible name that Derek Chisora could still beat? You mentioned names like Fabio Wardley, Moses Atama, who had a great performance tonight. I think they'll beat Derek Chisora comfortably. Probably stop him, to be honest. So Joyce could have been the pinnacle. So I do think it would be a great place to step away, but he's not going to do it. He's going to keep going till the wheels come off. He really is. It's interesting what you said about Joyce carrying on. I'd hate to see it, to be honest. I think he get badly hurt, and I don't think he's going to. Maybe he could win European titles, British titles, but I think he just wants world titles, and I think he'd know now that he can't get it. But who knows? It will be interesting to see. So, yeah, that's all we have time for on this one. As myself and Elliot are reacting to the huge upset in the O2 Arena, London, as Derek Del Boy Chisora has defeated Joe Joyce to pretty likely end his career, if we're being honest, and register the biggest win of his own career. So, yeah, a big result in London tonight. Let us know what you think in the comments. What did you make of the fight? How did you score it? Do you think Chisora deserved the win, or did Joyce do enough to maybe get a draw or even nick it? So yeah, as always, don't forget, drop a like on the video, subscribe to our YouTube channel at ESBR Boxing. A lot of great content live from ringside tonight in London. Interviews, reviews, predictions, all that good stuff. And follow us on social media and give us a download on Spotify. Elliot, it's been a pleasure and speak again soon.
Thank you, Niall. As always, guys, thank you very much for watching.